Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Lisum, coming to you with my amazing guest co-host, Katesha Reid, and we're evolving women. I'm evolving, you're evolving, we're all evolving. So we're here to help each other to evolve. Our intention is to fill the world with uplifting messages, some new perspectives, maybe share some tools and some resources, some different maybe mindset ideas. But we're here to give you permission to be your best self and live your best life. So welcome. We're so glad you're here. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Katesha Reid. We are so glad you are here again as our guest co-host. We're going to continue a conversation and see where it goes. And we're going to, let's start breathing again, like we did the first episode. So if you did not see part 1 of our series with Katesha, go back and check it out. But we started with some breathing. So let's do that again, because I really like that. So I'm going to invite everybody here to put your hands on your chest, on your belly, and just take a few moments to do some deep breaths. I like to do them in rounds of 3, but you do them in whatever count you want. So a deep breath in. Ooh, I felt my shoulders drop on that third one. Sometimes it takes a couple before your body really allows itself to release. But that's a simple, easy, free way of bringing ourselves back into the moment. Just release some stress, come back into balance.
Yes.
And just feel really good. So feel free to breathe at any point in your day. But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about Katesha's book. You're going to want to get it after you hear about all the good stuff that she has wrapped into that book. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Keisha, and go ahead and tell us what you got. What's the name of it? And we'll go from there.
All right. So the title of my book is Beyond Someone Something, a guide to self-discovery for every woman trapped in labels. And so where this title came from was me talking to someone about them knowing themselves outside of their roles. And she explained to me that her entire life, she had been somebody's something, somebody's fiance, wife, mother, daughter, employee. Like she had always been someone something, and that had become her identity. So she didn't know who she was. And because that's something I'm very passionate about, I loved that frame. I love the way that she acknowledged that and she put words to that.
Yeah, very simply and succinctly.
Yes, yes. And I think it's something people can relate to. It's not that it's a bad thing to be someone something, but you are more than that. You were more than that before you were attached to that, and you're more than that afterwards.
Yes, amen. Okay. Love that.
Yeah, that really spoke to me. So let me tell you some of my favorite pieces in here. If you watch the first recording with me and Teresa, the hat exercise is in here. It's my absolute favorite. Empowering women to know that not only can you choose your own hat, you can choose your own color. And then if at any point it doesn't fit, you can change it. You can change it. You don't have to keep something forever.
Yeah, we did not mention that in the first episode, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. Hey, I don't like it. I like this one instead. We have that option.
Absolutely. Oh, you have so many options. You can absolutely change it. Let's see. And inside the book, there's like little journal pages where you can write about your hat.
Oh, nice.
So I want you to always, to do the exercises, not just learn it, but to actually do it.
Yeah.
We talk about mom guilt because that is a real thing.
If you're a mom, we all got it, or we've all had it, or
yes, that is a real thing. And there's some affirmations in here that I think help with that. So one of the affirmations is taking time for myself is not just a necessity, but it is a right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Love that.
It's a right. It's a right. By prioritizing self-care and exploration, I am teaching my children valuable lessons about adulthood. We
Yes.
talked about
Yes.
what are we showing our children? Are we
Mm-hmm.
showing our children that you have to burn out?
Yeah.
Um, because although people use burnout in the professional setting, you can be personally burnt out, like in your
Mm-hmm.
personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people that breeds resentment.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That breeds resentment. So
For
we talk
sure.
about that.
Self-care is so important.
Oh
And
gosh,
and
yes.
if you have to schedule self-care, schedule it.
Schedule it.
Like actually put it
Schedule it.
down in your book or
Yes.
however you keep track of your activities. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I think that you schedule everything that's important. So if you need to schedule it, schedule it.
yes, for
Not and
sure.
not only schedule it and protect it.
Ooh, love
Someone
that.
taught me that they was like, don't just schedule this time, don't just set this time apart, but protect this time. And when they
Yes.
said that to me, I felt like I had a different responsibility for
Mm,
that time, to schedule it and keep it.
love that. Love
Yeah.
that protective part of it.
In the book, we also talk about how two things can be true. That helped me a lot on my journey. Knowing that two things can be true, knowing that I can love a role that I'm in, and that role can also, if I'm not careful, cause me to lose my identity.
Mm-hmm.
So two things can be true because I think
Yes.
that I think the hardest part about the journey to finding yourself is to acknowledging that it's okay to not know who you are, that it's
Mm,
okay to want to be more than what the role is.
mm.
I think that keeps a lot of people stuck. There was some reframing I had done in here, because sometimes we have to reframe our thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We have to reframe our thoughts.
And it's up
Also
to
in
us
here,
to do that for
yes,
ourselves. Yeah.
because no one else can do it.
Yep. Yep.
No, nobody else can do it. Nobody else can do it. One of the phrases, Miss Teresa, that I love to tell moms or women in general is that you can live the life of and not or. You can live the life of and not or. You can do you can do it all. You can't do it all at one time, but you can do it all. But you have to define what that means for you, because your and may be different from my and. The two things or the multiple things you want to live and show up as are different from mine, and that's okay.
So you're suggesting, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you can be a mom and an entrepreneur. It's not like,
Absolutely.
oh, I got to be the mom role, or I can run a business, but I
Yeah,
can't do both. But you're suggesting, oh, yes, you can.
you can.
Mhm.
If that's what you want to do, you can, because one of the things that led me to that struggle when I didn't know who I was is I had graduated with my bachelor's degree, and shortly after I had a child.
Mhm.
So in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm thinking, are you telling me I went through all this school and now I have to choose? Now, no
Yeah.
one said this to me.
Yeah.
This is what I had internalized based off of what I saw. It looked like and felt like for me to be a mom, I had to be completely that and not acknowledge or honor the dreams and goals that I had, you know?
Mm.
And so realizing that not only was it optional for me to be both, for me, it was necessary for me to be
Mm.
both.
And I love that. I'm guessing that's where the reframing can come
Yes,
in. You,
yes,
it can be, like I said, it's not either or, it can be an and you have
yeah,
to reframe that narrative in your own head for yourself. And
yeah,
I love that
yeah.
you said, honor your dreams and your goals. So many
Mhm.
women put theirs on the back burner, forget
Yes,
about them, can't do
yes,
it, never, it's never going to happen. And
yeah.
you're saying, oh no, honor those desires,
Honor
honor
them.
those goals, and figure out a
Yes,
way to do and.
yeah, yeah. Because if we say, "Oh, I just had a baby, I'll come back to this when they're older," you and I have raised children, or I are raising children, and we know there's always going to be something else.
Yeah, for sure. For
There's
sure.
always going to be something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
And so while you may have to tweak some things or adjust some things, that you can still do the thing, because if you wait for the perfect time, it's never going to come.
Yes. It's never going to happen.
It's never going to come. You know, I think that we talked about reframing the thing. I think what helps you to reframe is you have to unlearn some things.
Ooh.
Like I had said earlier, some of the things I needed to unlearn, no one ever said those things to me. I had absorbed it from my
Yes.
parent, my
Yeah.
mom, and society,
Yeah.
and I had to unlearn them.
Mm-hmm.
I had to unlearn them. I had to unlearn that going out on my own or with my friends or on a business trip or whatever the case may be wasn't selfish.
Yeah.
I had to unlearn that it wasn't neglectful. Again,
Mm-hmm.
there's a happy balance, a medium.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not extreme. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gone 364 days out of the
Right.
year.
Right.
So you have to unlearn a lot of things, and unlearning can be difficult.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Challenging what you know to be true or what you saw your mom do or someone else, like that can be very uncomfortable. And it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that your mom did something wrong. It
Right.
means that you don't have to do the same. You can do
Yeah.
something different.
I love that, challenging what you know or thought you knew to be true.
What you thought you knew to be
Questioning,
true.
is this true? Is
Yes.
this true for
Yes.
me? And
Yes.
can I change it and do whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
lots of good things right in this last minute or two.
And then
Thank
so the
you.
next step after you start the journey and you get to the place of um you're on this journey of learning yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
In at this part in the book, it's so interesting. I just remembered that I put an interlude. And told you to do some breathing, because acknowledging you want to change, starting the journey to changing is a lot. It's a lot to unpack. And so I feel like the readers needed a moment to just breathe. So
Love that.
there's a page that just an interlude that tells you to inhale. Um, I told them that we had started a closet clean out for their soul. And
Ooh.
so they needed to inhale the new information, exhale the things that no longer serve them,
Mm,
and release the inaccurate belief that they had to choose between themselves and their family. Because you
mm.
don't. And then I say, when you're ready, bring yourself back feeling refreshed. Let's continue the journey.
Yeah.
Because it's
Ooh,
a
I
journey.
love that.
Even now that I feel like I know myself, it's still a journey every day.
Oh yeah. 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 It's not a
It's
one and
every
done.
day.
Yeah.
No,
No.
no. Sometimes I wish it was.
Yeah.
But no,
But yeah,
it's
it's
still a
definitely
journey.
a journey, a practice, a process that
Mhm.
we need to do on an ongoing basis, if not daily basis.
Daily. And I
Mhm.
talk about that in the book because, I share with you, my children are very spread out as far as age, 15, 8, and 2. So even my experience, I believe that every time I had a child, I became a different version of myself,
Mm,
right?
mhm.
So even with that, when I had my most recent pregnancy, my 2-year-old, I was at a place that was so solid in my career. My career was at the height. I actually had two offices, two counseling offices. And then I found out I was pregnant and I was very tired, exhausted, all the things.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I needed to close those offices. Even that, it felt like someone had taken everything I had worked for back.
mhm,
And I, again, had to go on this journey and I talk about it in the book that sometimes you need to rest.
mhm,
You need to rest because it is a taxing journey to learn yourself. It's an everyday thing. And at different stages, you will learn a different part of yourself that you couldn't learn until you got to that stage,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
As a mom of now a boy, I'm learning things about myself and what I want to put out that I didn't learn when I was a mom of just girls.
I love that. I love that insight
Mm-hmm.
that every child you birth and brought into the world, you were different at that point in time.
Oh,
And then you
absolutely.
learned and then you had another kid. So you were at a different place. at a
Yes.
different level. And then, and sometimes, how kids come back and say, well, how come you didn't let me do that when I was at, because I love that. Now I can come back and say,
Yes.
I was a different person when
Yes.
that happened. And I
Yes.
learned and I evolved and I grew. And so I made
Yeah.
different choices
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
I had you, yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm going to use that with my kids.
Yes. Because
So
you are
thank
so
you.
different. And so when you're on this journey, one of the things you have to do is embrace the new you. Because it's one thing to say, I'm going to be a new person, but it can be scary. It's different.
Yes.
You have to fully embrace her. And that's part of that daily thing, embracing her. But then
Mm-hmm.
the scariest thing for me was reintroducing myself,
Ooh.
reintroducing myself to my children, to my husband, to people around me because my boundaries were different, my expectations were
Mm.
different. The way I chose to show up was different. So again, you knew what hat I had on, but I had changed the colors. I didn't want that
Mm.
blue hat no more. I needed a green, pink one, a yellow, a polka. For my middle child, I need a polka dot because she is a free spirit, and so I have to parent her differently.
I love that. But I mean, I too feel like I've changed roles, changed,
Mm-hmm.
I've become a different person so many times over my life
Yeah,
because like
yeah.
what we were just saying, and I never considered reintroducing my new self to those around me. Like I just assumed that they would see it for themselves, but I
Mm-hmm.
never thought to reintroduce or verbalize or share with them
Mm-hmm.
my new thoughts around myself. So that's
Yeah,
brilliant. I wish I had that information
yeah,
years ago. So
yeah.
thank you for
And
that.
you're welcome. And by doing that, what you're showing them and showing your children and grandchildren and people around you is that it's okay. It is okay to go on a journey, right? The very first time I felt confused or, even started this journey, I felt like I was broken because
Wow.
I had not heard anyone else talk about this, like this struggle. And when I started asking people, and they said, yes, I understand, I was angry because why were y'all not talking about this? I
Mm,
felt so broken. And so it's important to me to share my journey with other people and walk other women on this journey so that they never feel alone. I
wow.
never want them. So if one, I always say for every speech and talk and podcast I do, if one woman feels seen, if
Mm.
one woman feels a little less crazy, a little less broken, then I'm happy because it's not a good feeling to be like everyone else is accepting
Yeah.
their lives and I'm broken. Like something has to be
Hmm.
wrong with me.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
And why aren't other people, women will say in particular, sharing? I think it's that fear of judgment, fear of being
Mm,
criticized, fear of looking
yes.
crazy, and
Yes.
they're different from everybody else. So they're holding back and making it
Yep.
look like they got it all together,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
in my conversations with so many people, we're all like the same. It's just
Yes.
how we're perceived or how
Yes.
people view us. And, maybe, and I've done that where I put people on a pedestal. And then when I got in a private conversation with them, like, oh, they're just like regular people.
Right.
But I had made up this story about them
Yeah.
based on what I was seeing.
Yep.
So I can see where women don't want to share their struggles, their journey, because they feel everybody else got it together and they're the
Right.
only ones that don't. So
Yep.
yeah, whenever any of us can share what's happening within us, our emotions, our journey, our thoughts. Yeah, it's just giving other women permission to feel that way for one, and to maybe share their journey with others to help everybody else. So we're
Yeah.
always looking to uplift and help everybody evolve to the next level. So don't
Yep.
be afraid to share what's happening with you because it could be
Mhm.
helpful to somebody else.
Exactly. Exactly. People want to hear authenticity. And I tell people, and I had to go through this myself, you don't have to share your entire journey. Because of
Right.
course there's parts we may not want to
I
share.
was just going to
But
say, maybe we don't want to hear the whole journey.
but if you could just tell a piece, or if you could just say, hey, I understand how you feel.
Mm.
That will do so much for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Words are so powerful.
just that statement. Like, I
Just that
understand, I
statement.
hear you, I see
Yeah.
you. I might not be
Yeah.
able to totally relate, but
Yeah.
I see that you're struggling or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something as simple as that can be
Yes.
huge.
So transformative. So
Yeah.
transformative. And so
And
then I ended the book with my favorite part because I'm a poet. Before I was
cool.
anything, a therapist, when I was young, I wrote poetry. And so
Neat.
words are so important to me. Like I used to have a rhyming dictionary and I love the thesaurus, like all those things, because words matter.
Yeah.
If you say I'm happy, that's different than if you say I'm elated, or words matter. So I was thinking about some of the words we use and some things I challenge people to think about shifting, on your own journey. Of course, my first one is changing strong to resilient. And let me just
Mm,
read a little bit about why I said that. I put
please.
as women, especially African American women, we are often labeled as strong. So by definition, strong means being able to withstand great force or pressure. The
Mm,
unspoken connotation of being strong is that you can handle any and everything someone brings your way. Being labeled as strong can be exhausting, and it doesn't allow you space to be weak or vulnerable at
mm,
times to your own detriment. A better word would be resilient. By definition, resilient means able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult situations, able to recoil back into shape after stretching or being compressed. A resilient woman is a woman who experiences the things of life, and although she may be down at times, she may need to pause, she may need to step away. She does not break, and she will adapt when she is able. She will return back to herself.
I love that. That is, oh, yeah. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
So, I love that you wrapped into that. She can take a break. She can change that
Yes,
hat.
yes,
She can do
yes.
something different. Whereas if you're seen as strong, you might feel you can't do that.
Mhm.
So yeah, words are important. Words matter. Words have an energy and
Yes,
a
yes.
negative or positive charge. So I believe we do have to be very careful with words. I mean, it's
I
not
do too.
something we can do 100% of the time, but at least take some time to be very
Yeah.
intentional with our words.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
Whenever you can. Whenever you can.
Yeah, I love that. And you definitely put some thought into that. I'm just using the word strong without thinking much about it. And you actually thought and, found a word that serves you better and serves, I think, women better all
Hmm.
across the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that. Now, I
Thank
believe you were
you.
mentioning, and we'll put a link to your book in the description of this video. So make sure you guys watch for that. But you have like a place that they can go get other tools, and that's all
Yes.
referenced right in your book.
Yep. So when you get the book, there is a letter that I wrote at the beginning, and it has a link. And when you go to the link, what it is a tool bank, complete with breathing exercises, a quiz for you to see what kind of TV mom you relate to, and then also a video series. So I made a short video, 1 or 2 minutes, with each chapter, just letting you know what the thought behind the chapter was or what I wanted you to get
Mm,
out of the chapter. Because again, I just want people to feel seen. Because when you start feeling seen and empowered, then you start to transform. And that's
yeah,
the goal. Like
yeah.
not just to hear all this information, but to really start to transform. Because I have been on this side and I know what's on the other side. I know how my journey was difficult, but I wouldn't change it because the way
Hmm.
I am now, I am solid in who I am and I show up in all my roles, entrepreneur, mother, wife. I show up in all my roles in a completely different way, more authentically, more happy, more engaged, more aware. Like I know when I need a break from doing something as a mom. I know that.
Mm,
And I know that the benefits of it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you don't, sounds like you don't keep going on a path that you know is not serving you or anybody else. You
Right.
understand it's when it's time to take a break. You're
Yes.
not, yeah, I did, and I could go in another direction on that, but I love that you have found a solid foundation within yourself. And
Yeah.
when you're aligned with that, then like I said, you're happier, things go
Mhm.
smoother. You know,
Yes.
you're not pushed in different directions. You can say no.
Yes.
You can change your mind because
Yes.
I know I'm solid, and
Yes.
that's not something that everybody can do. So I
Mm-mm.
applaud you for that. But it was a journey, as you're
Oh,
saying.
it
It
was,
didn't
it
just
is a
happen
journey.
overnight. Yeah.
It is a journey because life isn't perfect. But because I know myself and I know what being centered and I know what that means, when things are off or when I'm
Mm,
more irritable than normal, I can tell. Or it's easier for me to even make decisions as a business owner, or as a woman or just in general. Does this align with who I want to be? Right?
love that.
Does this align? For example, I was offered to go on a trip to Bali in August, right?
Ooh.
Well, I know that that's around the time school starts. I really want to
Mm-hmm.
be there. And I can say no, knowing that it's not denying me because there'll be other opportunities. There will be other times I can go. And so I know that for me, that juggling act of being a mom and a wife and all those things, when I said you can do all the things you can, but there's like some priorities, you have to
Mm,
prioritize certain things and schedule
mm-hmm.
things. And but because I know who I am, I know that I didn't say no just because I felt guilty.
Yeah,
Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah, yeah.
Like I know my no is for a reason that serves me, not because
Mm-hmm.
what is she gonna think or what is it was no
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
didn't serve me right now.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
you know and expect that opportunity may come again
absolutely.
or something else may come up. So it's not like a
Absolutely.
finite, oh, if I don't take that opportunity, it's never going to come around again. No, you live
Yeah.
from the place of, oh yeah, it's coming around again. Or something even better. Like I
Yes.
so
Yes.
that's a whole different mindset, which
Yeah.
could spark a whole different conversation. But I love that. You've given us so many gems here, so many awesome pieces from your book. Thank you so much for sharing that. I said, I'm
Absolutely.
anxious to get that myself. And I love that you've paired a video with each chapter. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I mean, not that I've read every book in the world before, but I think that's so awesome.
Thank
And you
you.
have
Thank you.
tools, that so
Yes.
you have practical, substantial tools that somebody
Yeah.
can take immediately and
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh my gosh,
Thank
this has been
you.
so delightful. Thank you so much, Katesha.
Thank
I've so
you.
enjoyed this. Like I said, we could talk for probably hours, but we don't want
Yes.
to keep everybody here that long. So check out Katesha's book, connect with her in all the different platforms, and you'll be able to find her. I said we'll put the links in the description. I think you'll really connect with a lot of the things that she's already shared and that she has not shared yet. So thank you so much, Katesha. It's been an honor and
Thank
a
you.
privilege to have you here as a guest co-host. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, for our call to action, let's see, you have a call to action before we wrap it up totally that we can offer our viewers and listeners.
Absolutely. So, call to action, of course, grab the book, but a call to action you can do right now today is to take time for yourself. Start
Mm,
small, 5 minutes, 10
yep.
minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour or 30 minutes. Start realistically. Take 5 minutes, step on your back porch, get some deep breaths in, and
Mm-hmm.
understand and know you have a decision to which hat you choose and what color you choose, and if you want to wear it. And if not, you can always come back and get another one.
I so love that hat analogy. I'm going to remember that for a long time. I love, love, love that because we can
You
have
can.
those choices and those options, and we can have a
Yes.
hundred hats if we want.
You can. You
So
absolutely
thank you
can.
for that. So yes, follow our call to action suggestion. Don't expect yourself to carve out a half hour. If you can't do,
Right.
you may work up to that, but just a
Mhm.
few moments of your day will make such a big difference.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Katesha. Thank you to all of our listeners and viewers. We so appreciate you. Remember, check out our first episode where we chatted in the previous part. And I hope to have you back. I hope we get to continue our conversations, Katesha. This has been great.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, everybody. We will see you the next time. Bye-bye.